he's not.
Did you have any inside baseball on whether that was actually his truck or was he an employee of that company? It looked
Employee
like a
of the
commercial
company.
truck. Yeah, so what the hell?
A government employee, the electric
Even
company.
more punch your time clock and get your pension. Good Lord.
It's literally a government bucket.
Yeah, wow.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel once again with Tim Forshey of Forshey Law. You should be using him for your NFA trusts as well as your CCW in Arizona. If you don't have it, easy, residents and non-residents alike.
Yeah, residents, non-residents. Website is AZCCW online if you want to take the course online, or of course we offer the course many times per week, or I'm sorry, many times per month right here in the Phoenix area. So.
And Tim, also one of the attorneys with Firearms Legal Protection in the area.
Yep.
And the guy that I would call for a use of force incident if I ever was involved in one.
Let's hope that never happens.
Hopefully it never does. So we had a pretty big one on the channel here recently of a man who stopped to try to kind of stop a crazy guy in a carjacking. Then that guy jumped in his government-owned pickup truck. He shot into that truck multiple times because he was carrying a gun. Our defender did. Guy backs away and then runs him over and kills him. And so the part of this I want to talk about is the death was, I think, incredibly tragic, terrible, preventable.
And he was obviously a good guy trying to do what he thought was right.
Trying.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, was this a carjacking or was this a theft of an automobile?
Right.
Firearms Legal Protection is who I trust to help me after a use of force incident. If you're a Firearms Legal Protection member, I will also be on your team as a consulting expert, and you can attend our monthly active self-protection training seminars for free. Check out all they offer to their members at the link below.
So that's, I think, where the crux of the matter is here. He fires into the truck a couple of times. There's nobody in the truck. Guy was...
Nobody else in the truck but the bad guy.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Right.
So our good guy had exited the truck, left the truck running, and it's a utility company truck.
It, like you said, governmental owned or certainly commercial truck that the guy didn't own. He didn't have any ownership interest. He wasn't going to lose a penny if that car went bye-bye, if that truck went bye-bye.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, gonna have to explain it to the boss. Like, hey man, somebody carjacked me, you know, or somebody jumped in my truck while I was jumped up trying to help somebody and he stole my pickup. I called the cops. You know, is what it is.
We'll get
right?
you another truck tomorrow. Get back to work. Yeah, no big deal.
And Tim, as you saw this, you know, my first thing when I first thought about it is, okay, so the guy gets in the car, closes the door, so he's in a closed vehicle that he has stolen. Now, this is a grand theft auto.
Right.
It's a felony.
Right.
Big to do. And the guy shoots into the door multiple times.
And misses.
And misses, right?
So again, not to criticize the dead man, but holy cow! I mean, the distance that he was shooting at was about 18 inches, and it looks like he didn't get a single hit. So
yeah, and I know people go, well, you know, at typical defense distances, you're not going to aim anyways. I think it's a good reminder. You better aim. You better aim because you can miss from that close. Yep. And he did multiple times. But as you looked at that, Tim, as a lawyer, did you think that him shooting at that guy was justifiable conduct?
I did not. It was illegal. Because again, there was nobody in the vehicle. I don't have any knowledge that the pre-existing carjacking attempt that happened a few moments prior to that was injurious to anyone, right? If he used a gun and threatened to kill somebody, if he actually shot somebody, stomped somebody, you know, hurt somebody badly, now you've got the fleeing felon concept that could come into play, but I'm not seeing that here. So what I see is somebody using lethal force to stop a property-only crime, and even if that's legal, this is a glaring example of how it can still be mostly, all the time, very stupid. This guy paid with his life.
Yeah.
Right? And by the way, one thing I noticed when I watched it, I'll bet a lot of you noticed the same thing, is we all talk about, I want to get the best round for my 9mm. I want to get the best round for my 45. 45's got way more stopping power than a 9. Okay, we're talking about 400 foot-pounds of energy, maybe up to 550 foot-pounds of energy. Did you see how far that giant guy's body flew when that truck hit it?
Yeah.
How many foot-pounds of energy does an F-350 going 30 miles an hour have? About 1 million.
Significantly slower, but significantly heavier.
Wow. I mean, you talk about devastating weapons right there. People forget how devastatingly injurious cars can be. It's like there's a vivid example right there. That guy was knocked out of his shoes and knocked into the next world. So
well, and that to me, from a tactics, techniques, procedures kind of idea is, you know, when the guy drove off backwards, he just kind of got nonchalant all of a sudden, like, whatever, I'll just chill from here, not recognizing, hey man, that truck is still visible to me. And then to me, the big thing is, oh, that guy shot at me, and now he's offended me.
Right.
I've
Well,
taken-
offended, or I'm in fear for my life even. You know, the bad guy could say, I'm in fear for my life. This guy's running around shooting at people. I don't know, but...
I mean, clearly, in the commission of a felony, grand theft
Right.
auto, you don't get the right to defend yourself against somebody trying to take your life, right? So, but he could have.
He could have thought that.
Could have thought that.
Yeah, could have felt that way.
And could
The
have
other
thought
thing
the
too
other
is if
thing.
somebody's trying to run you over, why Hollywood perpetrates this one? Cars can't move vertically. Cars can't move perpendicular. So instead of running in a line as the person's as you're running away, so the car can just simply adjust a bit and run over you. How about just make a quick hard right and run perpendicular and avoid the problem? At least, I mean, you can run circles tighter than any vehicle can drive circles. So again, this guy paid for his life, but you got to think tactically, guys. So hopefully you've taken a lot of classes, read a lot of books, watched a lot of this guy's videos, and you can learn from other people's mistakes. But you don't outrun a car. If you're going to run in the same line that car's going on, you're going to get run over.
Well, and to me, when I watched him, the car was running. You know, the truck was running.
Yep.
All right, which I see plenty of commercial vehicles
especially
do.
in cold
Diesel.
areas. Especially when I grew up in the Midwest. You know, I'm going to leave the car running and get a donut. Just leave the car running. You know, the heater's on.
You know, I'm doing some work here. I've got the yellow flashers on. It's a diesel pickup truck. I'm just going to leave it idle because it's running my electronics inside the car or whatever. Okay, fine. But always ask, wait a minute, must I kill this guy right now?
Right.
Do I absolutely, if I don't kill this guy right now, if I don't shoot him, is somebody going to die?
Right. The answer here was, I think, clearly no.
It was no.
Yeah.
So you might say, well, he can shoot him because he watched him commit a carjacking, and so, this is a forcible felony. It is a forcible felony, and now he's stealing a car.
We could argue with the fleeing felon that he could shoot him. Again, self-defense is not a hunting license. It's not can you shoot somebody or can you not shoot them. It's must you or do you not have to.
Yeah. And here's another plug from me to you. Now, this is not a legal requirement, okay? But he had a gun in his pocket, pulls that gun out of his pocket. He's not very good with it, but he apparently had no other options. So you've got nothing between a harsh word and a gun. So this is why I carry an OC spray. This guy's like, hey man, you're gonna get in my car. I'm not letting you in my car, dude. Get out of here. Well, then I'm gonna kick your butt. I believe you, and I don't wanna get my butt kicked, and so I'm gonna OC spray you. I think that's very effective. Or get yourself to the mats and get yourself some significant empty-handed skills.
Was the window up, do you recall? I think it was partly up.
It was up, yeah.
It was up all the way? Yeah, so OC's
Best
not
of
going
my
to help
knowledge.
you a lot there.
Not once he gets in the car.
Right,
But
in the
again, as he's
process of-
approaching the car, no, you're
Sure.
gonna stay away from my car, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking your car. No, you're not. Back away, get off my stuff.
And again, I don't at all disagree with that. It's a government-owned vehicle or a corporate-owned vehicle. I'm on the job.
There's the other side.
Am I going to risk my life to get involved with that? To say that? No. If it's my own truck, we've talked about this before. That's a $500 deductible, and that's now State Farm's problem.
Right.
Tee-hee, right? That's not, do not care. I don't tuck it into bed. I don't say I love you to it. You can have it. I'm not willing to risk all the things that I see in my practice that happen to people who decide to take that risk.
And I get it. There's going to be some comments. Somebody's going to say, well, but it's not just about the money because, somebody's got to stand up to these criminals. Don't disagree with that.
I disagree either.
But I'll guarantee you, he shot that guy 4 times. Now, of course, he's not paying out anything. His widow is instead lamenting his loss, right? Because he died. Had he lived through this, taken 3-4 shots at the guy, do you think he needs to hire an attorney? Because the district attorney might take a sideways look at that.
I think very fast.
And if he has to hire an attorney, Tim, does somebody pay you, if they need criminal defense, do they pay you at the start more than $500 or less than $500?
Usually a little more than that, yeah.
Poquito
And guys,
more.
a lot of people don't realize this too,
Maybe,
but if you've been involved in a situation like this, even if you haven't yet been charged, you better get a lawyer.
You
Because
need
I'm
a
going to
lawyer.
get a jump on this. I don't want you to get charged. By the time the county attorney's calling, and I've already got your polygraph, and I've already got a background check on the purported victim showing what a dirtbag they are, and I share all that with the county attorney, trust me, that money you spend up front to keep you from getting charged will stop a nightmare.
Right.
So if anything like this ever happens,
But even if
you're
it
hopefully
is-
won't get charged, get an attorney ASAP.
So remember though, you end up shooting a guy, that's all thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars to get all that done. And why would you spend all that money? Because otherwise I was going to die.
And for those of you that say, I'm fed up with the crime rate and somebody's got to do something, I agree, God bless you, Batman, right? This is the job for the vigilantes.
He could only do that because he was a bajillionaire.
Boy, he talks like this.
Yeah, he talks like this.
You guys, you run for office. I agree with you, run for office. We need good people that think like we do to run for office. I hope you got more vigor than I do. I'll vote for you, run for office and try to change it. But going out and deciding you're going to get involved in situations like this and that's going to stop the crime wave, that's going to make people think twice, it's going to ruin your life or it's going to end your life.
So remember, okay, he was doing these bad things. If you're stopping him from doing those bad things, I was sure he was pointing a gun at that woman. He was trying to take her car. If I didn't shoot him, he was going to kill her. I was absolutely sure he was going to kill her. Okay. And you feel like I had to use deadly force, and I was good enough to do it. Thank God this guy didn't, because who knows where those bullets would have gone.
Oh, man.
But then, okay, then he jumped in my truck. And I was worried at some point in the future he might hurt somebody with this truck that was my government truck. That's not a basis for the use of deadly force. He was stealing my car, and that's a felony, and so I was going to stop him from doing that. Man, you're going to get long, hard, crazy looks from district attorneys on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's a coin flip as to whether that argument will win, and I don't like coin flip cases, and that coin flip's going to cost you $250,000. Something like that. So
there's an interesting one. Okay, so if you pay me $250,000, we will flip this coin. If it comes up heads, you just paid the $250,000. If it comes up tails, you paid me the $250,000, and you get to do 15 years.
A lot of people think if I spend the money on a lawyer, then I know I win. And man, if I could guarantee that, I'd have retired 20 years ago. I mean, that simply means you get to walk up to the blackjack table and throw your cash down and take your cards.
Yeah.
And a good mathematician can play blackjack better than an idiot, but it's still chance. That's all there is to it.
So listen, you want to avoid that if you can, and only use deadly force if you must, or somebody dies. Yeah. It's that simple. And I would recommend that you even reserve that to somebody who you kiss goodnight dies.
That sounds harsh, but I say it all the time too. If it's somebody that I kiss goodnight and say I love you to them when I tuck them in, I'm willing to kill or die for them. But as the older I get, am I willing to orphan my kids to save some strangers' kids from becoming an orphan? I don't want to say no, but I got to say I'm going to think a lot harder about it. I mean, it's a discussion I've had with myself many, many times, but I don't know the answer is as cut and dry as everybody thinks it is.
And even worse in some sense than dying, I mean, if you end up in prison for 20 years because you made the wrong decision, and then you go, okay, wait a minute, well, it'll bring me comfort at night knowing I did the right thing. That probably won't override you being the queen of cell block C.
And watching your children and the rest of your family starve to death because nobody can make a living without your help.
And you getting a visit from your kids every month at the start, and then 2 months, and then 4 months, and then you get letters from them on their birthdays and those kinds of things. And
that's if they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Some of them cut it off right up. Yeah.
Guys, be cautious here, okay?
Be prudent.
Tim, thanks for the insight.
As always. Thanks, bud.